Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance. All backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Tane Talks. I am your host, Tane, here to talk about Married at First Sight, Season 20, Episode 3. Here with me, coming over from Episode 2, is Aid. Hi, Aid. Ready to talk about this again?
Ready.
Okay. All right. Well, we are picking up with Nikki and Shawn. They are both breathing deeply. I want to say for different reasons. um, the way they edit it and show it around, it feels like everyone looks sad. Everyone's just like, but Shawn is just like, wow, this is the best day of my life. And Nikki's like, what have I done?
The music.
Do you-
The music. This is what I wrote. I wrote doomful, joyful, joyful. Like if joyful, joyful was for a funeral, this is a version that they played.
it was despondent, for lack of a better word. But the thing is, when he walked in, right, I think his family was like, oh, her family were like, oh, he's handsome. And again, honestly, I don't think Shawn is not handsome. My only, again, grievance is just that she wanted a tall man and he's 5'6". Like, it's not 5'8", 5'10". He's 5'6". So that's the thing. And that's the first thing you see, you notice when you see him.
I think
So,
so. Okay, I don't want to like get on her. Everybody's allowed to have their preferences.
yeah.
This was kind of funny. I once had a friend who was tall, and she used to get so annoyed at girls who were short who dated tall men.
Yeah.
Because if you're like Shawn is taller than Nikki, am I right?
I was trying to look at that
'Cause I
actually.
think she
So,
looks to me to be about 5'4".
okay. I mean, if she's wearing heels, they were about the same height. So maybe.
So I was just like, I mean, if you're, is the point of a tall man that he's just taller than you? What isn't that he fits the bill?
Yeah. I mean, sometimes the heart just wants what it wants,
I know. I shouldn't have said. It's just a thought that I had.
Yeah, I know. I know. Um, I'm not sure. His speech was kind of convincing or kind of nice. Like I think like even if she was on edge, like, oh, this isn't necessarily what I want, he did give like a nice speech that she was like, okay, you know what? I could give this a shot. So when it's time to kiss, he does ask for a kiss and they do kiss. Before they do that, his mom brings the broom for them to jump over. And Aid, could you do the honor of sharing what the symbol, the what it means, the meaning of when African Americans jump over a broom?
So this it goes back to the times when African Americans weren't considered people, so people who couldn't enter into legal contracts such as marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm no expert on this whatsoever. Um, but basically the idea was when enslaved people wanted to get married, the way they would signify their marriage was to jump the broom. And so it's a very historical tradition. And honestly, I'm like, oh, y'all are gonna be my favorite couple just because you're the one who jumped the broom. I think the first,
Yeah.
the first season that we did was New Orleans, and Imani and
Mm-hmm.
Cuddy jumped the broom, and we loved that. And we're gonna
Yes. That was why I handed it over to you because I remember you explained it then and I was like, nostalgia's sake, just do it again. So, um, he asks for her hand. He asked for her to have hand space. This is for their champagne chat. And this is where the things with Sean start coming up. Because at this point, I'm just like, oh my God, like, I hope she's able to get over this. They seem to be like a good fit and they'll be fine. But they start walking and he's like, oh, do you need some space? Like some hand space, like, let your hand breathe and all that. And she actually says yes. I'm like, oh God, they can't even hold hands.
It was
And
awful. It was so awful.
oh no. She did say, like, he seems like an awesome person. Her first impression is that he has kind eyes and a nice smile. Guys, when someone is not attracted to someone, they always, always start with kind eyes.
I'm like,
When
is he
you're
Santa Claus? Like, what the hell?
attracted to someone or have the fanny flutters, you are definitely not saying kind eyes. You remember how Belle Jolie described Mecca? When it was like, he did something to me when there was noises, no words, kind eyes, no. So I felt bad for the guy. So she tells him that she appreciated his gift, and then she does say that she's a sapiosexual. So, you know, they could bond on that because I think who started physics or something? One of them. So her friends, she's talking to her friends because again, they all talk to other people versus their actual partners, and this is at the reception. Her friends tell her that, oh, you guys look cute together. And Nikki says, really?
It's it's so bad. It's so bad. It
And
makes me
then
actually sad that
just
because I didn't feel like everything she said she had to say. I think she could have put a little bit of lipstick on this pig at least for the wedding.
she's still in
Lie to me,
shock.
please.
She's still in shock. The thing that pains me is that this could have prevented, and not just for Nikki, also for Shawn, because he is the recipient of whatever it is that she's feeling that she's not even sure of what she's feeling. And that's the thing that we always talk about is like whatever is happening, someone else is getting the brunt of it. You know, and it's always the person that's actually into the person.
Yes,
So they do say, like, there's some compatibility. She goes, okay, yeah, like I feel some compatibility, but it's not ringing true. You can tell like she's just faking it. And then the friend says, okay, now that it's just us, like, how do you really feel? And she's like, what I do know I feel is that this wine is really good. I'm like, oh my
my
God.
God.
Oh, oh, oh.
Which, on one hand, I'm going to give her credit for not saying how she really feels because I don't think it
Mm-hmm.
would be good at all.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's also like the more you talk about it, the more you like lean into it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just always think like if possible, regardless of how you feel, I do think the goal or motto should always be lean into the wedding. Just enjoy yourself on the wedding. And then whatever you're feeling afterwards, deal with it the next day. Because just in case it works out, you want to have the memory of a good wedding.
Mhm.
So, as much as you can, it's free. You don't have to pay for a wedding. You have your friends and family. It's like a big party. Just think of it that way and have fun. So, Sean is talking to his mentor, who seems to be his same height too. Guys, I'm not fixated on height. It's just they mentioned it, and I just started looking at everyone who was the same height as Sean. And he's telling him, "You know my past, and I sometimes move fast in the physical area." And the friend is like, "I do, ha ha ha." And I'm like, I don't know, something about this reads off. So the friend says, "You're about no." He said, "I'm about to go on a honeymoon and spend every night in bed with her. Do you have any advice?" I'm like, "What advice?"
Once again, why are you having this conversation with the wrong person? There's only there's only one person you can have this conversation with. It's not this man.
What even could be the advice? Like if she doesn't want to have sex, what is anyways? The friend just says, "You know me, you know it's worth the wait, and I can tell you that." I'm like, what does that even mean? So her friends ask her, "Oh, what does night one look like for you?" And she says, "What, like a peck on the cheek?" And then she says, "Just kidding. Like, I want to take it slow and I just want us to be friends first." Sean tells his mentor, like, so you're saying I shouldn't turn on the music and put on my Speedos? And I'm like, this man and the jokes is a
Hmm.
lot. But at this point, I'm thinking, why does your reception seem boring? I wasn't seeing people mingling, dancing. They were just apart from each other. But things took a turn for the better because she changed to her second dress. She looks lovely. They're dancing. I was like, okay, the DJ has arrived. And maybe that was the cocktail hour. that we were seeing, and I just didn't know that it was a cocktail hour. So he says like he feels like he won the lottery, and it's time for the garter toss. I thought we got rid of that, but we didn't. Oh
It's a nice
no.
comfort moment for TV, so no, we can't get rid of it.
Okay. He comes to get her and decides that he's going to sing to ask her, "Excuse me, miss, where you are?" I'm like, just say, "Nikki, can I get you for a second? Let's be done with it. We don't need to do High School Musical over here." So they do the garter toss and he takes off his jacket. Olajuwon flashbacks. I almost couldn't look at it, but she's game for it. He goes down there. He gets the garter, he does it, and then he does ask her, like, "Hey, can I kiss you?" She does say yes. So I don't like to give people kudos for trying because you agreed to be on Married at First Sight, but she does say yes and she doesn't like turn him down or anything. So that's good, I think. So they get to the hotel and Shawn is like, "Oh, do you want me on the couch?" And she's like, "No, it's fine. Like, I mean, I think the bed is big enough that we can have, good sleep on there." And then she finally says in her confessional that he is not my physical type, but I do like his intellect, so we'll see how it goes. Then she asks him, like, "Oh, what do you usually sleep in?" And he says that he wears shorts with no shirt. And she's like, "Please wear a shirt."
I didn't appreciate that.
Oh, God.
I didn't. They can never. I'm glad they jumped over that broom because they'll never have a good moment again.
You know, that's funny. And what's so funny is like my For You page, or maybe I do follow him, I don't know, decided to show me a video of Shawn in a pool doing like some kind of video, shirtless, with all his chest hair, taco meat, just all out there for everyone. I don't know what he was talking about, but I just scrolled past. But I want to believe, don't quote me, but I think Shawn is one of the people who is already selling cameos. Guys, I don't know what to make of all of this. Our alums would never. But I need to stop comparing them to old school MAFS.
Hmm.
Like the show hasn't even premiered and we're selling cameos. But okay.
For what, $10?
I didn't check. I didn't bother. I think Mass Fan posted it and I was like, "What? Really?"
I
So
wonder if they'll make him take it down now that Maps.
I don't think so. They have all the freedom, honestly, because for all the things they're posting, they're not stopping them. Like a Ask Me Anything when your show barely premiered. So she does say that she doesn't feel attracted to him right now, but it could grow. So I'm like, okay, that's the spirit. And then Shawn makes me cringe. She decides to change the temperature, and he's like, "What do you want it on?" 69. That's my favorite temperature.
Uh,
Shawn, you're 48. You should be done with those kind of jokes. Like, you're a grown man. She says that she doesn't want to play into the sexual stuff, that she needs to set boundaries, that she doesn't want to do that. And then she gives us like a kind of wink because she's like, "Because hey, it is my favorite position too." And I'm like, "Okay, Nikki."
but like, she had that energy in the confessional. She didn't have that energy when she was actually talking to him.
I know. So it's there. It just needs to come out eventually. Like slow burn. I'm just having hope because I really want it to work out for her, but only if it's like genuine. Because not skipping ahead, but the previews later on, it seems like they get to a good spot and then it looks like after that things fall apart again. So, you know, even Haley had sex with Jake, you know.
And never spoke to him again,
Never
basically.
spoke to him again. So, she takes off her makeup and then he shows up and is like, "Can I get a kiss?" I'm like, "Read the room, Shawn." She's taking off her makeup. She says in a confessional, "We don't need a kiss every 5 minutes. Like, it's an escalation and that needs to stop."
I feel like I keep on repeating myself, but it keeps on being true. Like, this is not a good situation, as
It
Dr.
is
Now would
not.
say. This
Do
is not
you
a good situation.
think it was rude?
For
Just all these little examples, like put a shirt on, this is an escalation.
I wouldn't okay, I thought it was 2 things going on.
Okay.
I'm not gonna call it rude.
Okay.
Um, but I also thought that he wasn't doing a great job of reading the room.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think either one of them can claim to have behaved that greatly. Yeah. I I I feel like maybe from the way I'm talking, it sounds like I'm blaming her more. That's really not it. I really felt like he was not reading the room. I feel like she dropped plenty of hints, and then he just kept on trying to push, and it then she kept on feeling like she needed to like back him off. It was a
Yeah.
really bad energy.
Yeah, it was. I think it was a situation where he's the kind of person who feels like, let's say there's silence in the room and they don't like silence and they just keep talking even harder, even though they know they should shut up, but he can't help himself. And I thought he already had the approach where it was like, I'm just going to go at her pace, whatever makes her comfortable. The goal is to make her comfortable. And I was thinking, you know what? That's a good plan. But they got to the hotel and it seems like a switch flipped in Sean's head and everything went out the window and he just couldn't stop. So they get into bed. Instead of him to just get into bed and lay, he's like, "Thank you for letting me stay in the bed." And then that leads to like some back and forth. And then he's like, "I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding." I'm like, "Oh, this is
If you
so
have to keep on saying you're
uncomfortable."
just kidding, these are not funny jokes. You don't have to tell people when it's a joke. They just know because it's funny.
Yes. Oh, and then they get in the bed, and then he's like, "You're soft. The bed's soft." I'm like, "Sean, stop talking,
Stop
please.
talking.
I don't want it. Go to bed." So yeah. So that was it for Nikki and Sean. Any final thoughts?
I'm sad about them because when I
No.
saw them in the last episode, I was like, "Oh, older couple, black
Yeah.
couple." Like I just really liked a lot of things, and then it's turned into garbage.
No. Yeah. So sad. Okay. Take a quick break and I'll be back for yet another couple, Caitlin and Devin. You guys know I love to read, and I sometimes share in some episodes what I'm currently reading. Every now and then, I challenge myself to read something outside of my usual genre, and that book for me now is House of Rain by Harley LaRue. It's a gothic romance novel that follows Salem, who ends up stranded on a remote island instead of going on her honeymoon. There she meets the mysterious Rain, whose family manor is filled with unsettling secrets. Then people start dying, something begins stalking the forest at night, and what starts as a forbidding attraction turns into a fight for survival. With the isolated island, gothic mansions, and the creeping sense that something terrible is always just out of sight, I was intrigued and creeped out. If you're a fan of supernatural suspense and dark romance with an unforgettable atmosphere, check out House of Rain by Harley LaRue, now available wherever books are sold in print and in ebook.
Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance, all backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.
And we're back. The good thing is that on this episode, we are done with the weddings. Like, we're done with everyone. So they just shoved everybody, their wedding, their receptions, everything in here. So, Caitlin and Devin, I was thinking there has to be a reason they were shown last, or am I reading too much into it? What did you think?
I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
Honestly, these people, how do I put this nicely? Everybody's like so generic that they look so similar to the other couples, and there was nothing like stand out about them. So it was like I couldn't tell why they might be put last because there was really nothing distinctive about them.
Not the, maybe because they could last. I don't know. I've seen a couple of people say like it reminds them of that Minnesota Love Is Blind season where they couldn't tell who is who. So he says, Devin, that is, says that most people's impression of him is that he's a douche because he's a pro athlete. But, when they get to know him, they know that he's a teddy bear. I am going to expose my ignorance here. I honestly did not know that they play rugby in America. I just thought
You
it
know
was
who Alona
international.
Maher is?
No, I do. Like, I just thought, like, oh, that's true. I know that for women. That's true. So if there's women, there must be men.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know. Maybe I had my own blonde moment, but it's just I'd never heard. I guess I don't know any notable American rugby player. I do know who Ilona Mahar is. That's funny. But anyways, Yeah, I do. That's fun. Now that I think about it, that makes all the sense. But oh well. Um, of course, I went to go Google, and he did play for the Seattle Seawolves. And funny enough, he does not play there anymore. He has retired, and he's currently the director of youth and community programming for the Seattle Seawolves. So, just an update for you guys. So Paul says the concern is that in pro sports, he's always on the go. So that could be a challenge. And he was like, well, hopefully she works remote and she can work from anywhere. That pissed me off. I'm not looking to be pissed off. It's just like, why are we starting off with the woman giving up something, but your life doesn't change?
Uh, I don't know. Yes. It screams like I really want this person to fit into my life. I will not be making any adjustments to fit into theirs.
And also with the matchmakers, if you know this man is going to be traveling and not going to be around, what are we doing? Why must we fit this person into the show? I mean, again, not that the show has mentioned it, he did retire, but I'm just, why are we doing this? So, cue Caitlyn saying, ultimately, I can work from anywhere. I work for a boutique marketing company and I work remote, so I can go anywhere that I want to. She also mentions that she's turned all her hobbies into a business and she's a cycle instructor, a makeup artist. And then he mentions, they ask him who his type is, and he said his type is Sydney Sweeney. And I do feel like I shouldn't judge based on that, but I feel like I did.
Um, what did you judge?
I don't know what Sydney, you know Sydney Sweeney, right?
Huh. You know, I really hadn't heard of her until that stupid jeans commercial.
Yes, on Euphoria. And she just seems like the typical what did he describe? He said her eyes, the way she looks at you. I thought he was gonna say that whole girl next door, but then they look like a kid, but then they don't. But I don't want to put stuff into him. Maybe he really does find her attractive, or I don't know. But it just felt like with all of the like she's the stereotypical person. I think I don't know how to verbalize what I thought, which is why I said like I feel
It's
like I
like
judged him.
it's both like I don't know how to describe. It's like basic. Like a skinny crush is not. It doesn't mean it's very generic. You know, it doesn't lend like I don't know. I don't know.
I'm projecting on him. I will take all responsibility. She plays a high school person on TV. I don't know how he knows her. Maybe her many movies that have flopped. I don't know. Honestly, it could be her boobs because she has great boobs. She's always showing off her boobs. It could be that I don't know. But he said it was her eyes, the way she looks at you, and is like, I don't know. It was me, absolutely projecting. But I don't think I can pinpoint. I feel like Nick.
Well,
What
how old is
things?
he? How old is
No,
he?
she's old enough. She's like 28 or
No, no,
something.
no.
Hold
I
on,
didn't ask how old was she. I asked how old he is.
27.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I don't know much about Sydney Sweeney, but if you'd asked me how old she is, I was like, oh, I think she's 22 or something. So
Hmm.
it makes sense to me that a 27-year-old is attracted to some a 22-year-old who looks like she's 22, who's actually 27.
Honestly, I do feel like if you ask a lot of white guys his age, they will say Sydney Sweeney. Honestly. So if anyone has a better way of expressing or if they feel or have a kindling to what I'm feeling, let me know. Maybe you can help me with the words that I'm trying to say. Okay, so they ask her who she has a crush on, and she says Nick Bosa. He's a football player. He is big. He is strong, and I think they got it right.
I think they did too. I
They
think they
did,
did too.
yeah.
And
So
you
he
know what with
tells,
her too? Like if Sydney Sweeney's your crush, she to me looks great.
okay, yes, she does. And Sydney Sweeney, I mean, for all her many things, she is pretty. She's been in a lot of trouble. She's been accused. I think she had like a party. It was like a. Then they were calling her family the MAGA family and all that. There's just a lot of controversy around Sydney Sweeney. So, anyways, so his mom was 18 when she had him. He says he doesn't talk to his dad. Like, how can you have two boys and you dip and you don't take care of them? Like, he doesn't respect that, and he doesn't want that person in his life. I feel like we have a lot of that this season. A lot of people who are not talking to their dads.
Or
He,
parents or yeah.
yeah. So
Didn't cuz yeah.
he says that he wants to be a father because they do ask about children. I don't know. Did you detect a black scent with Devin?
Oh, no, I didn't actually.
I feel like I did, but I
Maybe I
wasn't
need to listen.
sure.
Let me see.
But yeah. Okay. So they ask her the same question. Caitlin, do you want to have kids? She's like, with the right person, I'll want to have kids. So I think she's fine either way if she doesn't and if she does. So he says that he doesn't want to see himself above his partner. And she says she wants an intense connection. The Paul and Paz get together, and Paz says, I like Devin. I like Devin because as a mama of boys, it seems like he's a mama's boy. uh, I don't know if that's a good thing. Yeah. So they
I
have the
was gonna
wedding.
say, as a mama's boy, it seems like he really understands what it'll take to have a successful relationships. There's just mama's boy doesn't. I don't know.
Everybody has different definitions, right? Because what she says preceding that is, as a mother of boys, I like that he's a mama's boy. And I don't know what that means. So,
Yes, yes.
so they have the wedding, and her dad is not excited. He is very traditional. She tells us that she's happy that he's here, but he's not going to be walking her down the aisle. And I'm sorry, guys, that is shitty. Don't, why are you there at the wedding and you're absolutely trying to make a point, take a stance, like it's not changing anything, and you're choosing not to walk her down the aisle? I just think that's a really shitty thing to do.
You know what's really funny? When I saw you write about this on Threads, I thought
Mhm.
you were talking about Michelle's dad. But you were talking about okay.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. What I agree with you. I just people just say words that mean nothing. To me, when someone says they're traditional, I'm like, is not the most traditional thing to walk your daughter down the aisle at her wedding? What do these words mean?
He wants the whole thing where, the family, he asks for her hand and he gives his blessing, but right now it feels like he's just ripping her away from him without even asking.
Oh my god.
This is my
I
interpretation.
have
Because
many like I have more thoughts about her dad later, but yeah.
yeah, the thing with, like, and the thing with Michelle is, like, Michelle's thing was like her dad doesn't want to be on camera, he's going to be there and all that kind of stuff. I do think that he could have walked it down the aisle and he could have cut it off, but that would be very difficult to film. Maybe they do too, I don't know. But Devin still has a great grandmother, and she's there and she hugs him and just tells him, like, I told you were going to be a star in 1999, which I believe that's when he was born. And I'm like, whoa. And her mom shows up, says, I love the flowers. Oh, her mom and her dad are walking into the wedding venue, and the mom is like, oh, I love the flowers. Little did I know that would be the first and last thing that she said. And her dad was like, I don't give a shit. At some point I have to meet these fuckers. And I'm like, this is so cringe. Like,
So
you're
cringe.
showing up and you just have a bad attitude and you're cursing at everyone. So Devin is ready. Devin is coming down. He goes down the aisle. He's like, let's do this, saying fuck yeah. And I'm like, why are you cursing? You don't know these people. You're just cursing for no reason. I really do wish he got rid of his blonde tips or blonde dye job. That really bothered me. But
I mean, it
yeah.
bothered me, but honestly, as I continue to try to remember these people's names, that hair is real helpful.
That's funny. So she walks down the aisle alone. And did you notice that she wasn't wearing a veil?
I did not. I mean, I did not notice. I'm not
Okay.
going to notice. Yeah.
Yeah, she did not wear a veil. So they meet, they shake hands. She tells him he looks fantastic, but she's also cursing too. So I'm like, okay, maybe he really is a match. And then her dad gets up. I'm like, what is happening? Logic part two. He gets up and he was like, this whole thing is crazy. I'm like, Okay. He says, this is my baby. I'm old school and I'm a mess. And this is uncomfortable as it is for me. It's her life, but for good or for bad, I trust her. I just hope it turns into something amazing. And then he sits down. What are we doing?
I I I I don't have anything nice to say. Not a single thing nice to say.
Oh,
Keep
God.
it going so I can
Oh,
continue
okay.
to not say nice things.
All these daddies that want their 15 minutes. So they both say their vows, and as usual, they align. And then, okay, with them, they did say, this is your lawful wedded husband. They pronounce them a married couple, and they have a proper kiss. And I don't know. Let me tell you, Ada, I do give you props all the time because, with you, we both discovered the whole, well, Frankenstein, when we started covering the show, the way Maps is like the master of Frankensteining and doing voiceovers, I don't know why we had the officiant do a voiceover saying, I now pronounce you for the first time as a married couple. And I'm like, why do we need to redo it? Why can't we just go with what was said in there? But
It literally,
that's,
and the funny thing is like sometimes it's literally like there was wind, and
yeah.
so the microphone didn't pick it up. Like
Okay, that's fair. I didn't think about that. I'm always like looking for errors. So his friends are very exuberant. They're just like, woo, 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 woo. But I'll take them over. Whose was it? Was it Adam's friends that were just, bleh? And I'm like, can you be excited? They already called him the Tin Man. You don't have to match. So he tells her that she's beautiful. He fucking loves her eyes and that she seems like the kind that will run into the woods with him. So the camera better go away. Wink, wink. So then they get to the reception, they clink glasses, naturally they just kiss. And then he goes up to her dad and says, like, he wanted to introduce himself, but he didn't know who the dad was. I was like, Devin, you could have asked, who's the dad? But what do I know? And her dad says that he appreciates the discussion. And again, the mom is there, but she says nothing. So she changes well. She has a reception dress, and every time they kiss, his the dad keeps burying his face into his hands like he's dying every time he sees it. And guys, again, there's money with Peacock when you are dancing to the actual original, and they're dancing to Chapel Roan's Pink Pony Club. That's not, a nobody, and they're all there. Pink Pony Club, and it
please
seems like
stop.
fun.
You
It
barely
was a
started, and I was like, please stop.
it was a fun wedding, and it seemed like they were all the friends were meshing together and having fun. So her dad gets on the mic again, and I'm like, we got it the first time, dude. You don't need to do it again. But he does. He says, 5 days ago, 20 years ago, I wasn't going to come to the wedding. I just thought this was red flags and that his family is crazy and he would have been so disappointed if he wasn't here. But he thanks the family for being authentic and wild and that he's rooting for them. And then she hugs him. She says, I love you, Dad. And that was it. And it was fun. And we have like a little montage of all, now that all the weddings are done, everybody has like a little montage of leaving and all that kind of stuff. And it's just always fun to see people enjoying their wedding. So,
I cannot deal with this dad. I don't remember his name, nor do I care. I just there are men who every single thing that happens in their family, their feelings must be considered over everybody's. They must be the center of attention. No one else's feelings matters but mine. And it's real annoying to see. And that's all I got out of that.
yeah.
Me. How do I feel? Not how does my daughter feel? Not just how does her new husband feel? How do I feel? That's the only feelings that matter in this situation. I feel good now, therefore all of you can feel good. Before I was an asshole, so no one could feel good until I felt good.
And also, he could have just pulled her aside and told her
And
that. He needs to get on the mic multiple times.
center of attention, but the reason why he has to be the center of attention is because his feelings are the ones that matter the most, and that's why they need to be publicized and shared with everybody. No one else's feelings matter.
Yeah, that's true. Like literally, no one would have known that he didn't want to come 5 days ago. Would have all found out when we watched the show. They get to the hotel. She takes off her makeup, and he tells her, "Oh, you're so cute." And he says that he's a physical touch guy, and it looks like she's the same. So he thinks like it's gonna be good. He says like he's gonna wait to have sex, and then says, "Unless she wants to, I'm not gonna say no." And he laughs. She says like she's someone who gets the ick very easily, but honestly, right now she has no flags, and she has none. They go to bed, they kiss goodnight, and that's it for the Caitlin and Devin. Any final
You know, when you
thoughts?
were asking if why were they the last couple, I'm like, maybe they're the successful one. They they,
That's
they
what I
seem to
was
have a
thinking.
really good first episode. I think. I mean, probably like Felipe and Tori were also pretty good. It's just been so long that I forgot.
Yeah,
But like they had a very good, like their vibes were really good.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Was that? But we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, I'll take a quick break, and I'll be right back. Okay. So the rest of the couples is basically just everyone and what happens when they get to the hotel because everyone has left the wedding, I believe, at this point. So we have Cameron. Oh no, we still have some little wedding stuff. Cameron and Michelle, their first dance is kind of awkward because of the height difference. And when they do their speeches, I think her brother gave a speech which was nice, and Disneyland is her second home, and she has lots of flyer miles, and he gave like a really cute speech. So she brings up the whole relationship thing. I think either when they were in the car or in the hotel, and he gives his whole spiel of how he's just never met anyone. But then this is when it kind of changes. It's not that he's never been in a relationship before, he's just never been in a relationship beyond 6 months, which to
Yeah.
me is two different things.
Yes.
So why would they
But I
present it?
the distinction was made long-term relationship, but then we didn't really get an idea of what long-term means as a term
Yeah.
until now. And now we understand that it just means less than 6 months or
Okay.
more than
Yeah.
6 months.
Yeah. So yeah, they're in the car. She also changed to her second dress. I do believe this the first season we're seeing where people changed
Uh,
into second wedding dresses. This is the first I think I remember. Maybe it's happened before, but they're in the limo on their way to the hotel, and then when she brings up the whole, he says the relationship thing. She's like, "Now I'm nervous because does that mean you're gonna nitpick everything about me?" And he's like, "Nah, I'm not going to." I don't. He gives a lot of nothing. I honestly kind of think they're boring.
uh,
So I'm yet to decide if that's a good thing or not. The only little highlight thing was they were talking about them saying that he was the best basketball player in the world, and she was like, "You know what's funny? When I was listing my crushes, Steph Curry was one of them." And then he's like, "I look nothing like Steph Curry," and I'm like, "Are you joking, or is there some bite to that comment?"
I'm also just like, are you people are a little nutty because I'm like, you definitely look, I wouldn't say similar, but it's not out
Huh?
of the like, do you think he looks like Seth Curry? I think he's kind of built. Well, I don't know where I'm coming from. I'm
No.
like, Seth Curry's very light skinned.
Well, yeah, but no, they did not. Not even in the realm.
Yeah.
I mean, and then it felt like she was trying to over explain, like, no, not necessarily, but I like the way he takes care of his wife, his this. And I'm like, okay, you don't need to explain. You like Steph Curry, but I don't know why he wasn't like laughing, like, it's okay, it's fine, or whatever. I don't know. So that's the only thing, like, I'm on the lookout for. But honestly, they're kind of giving me nothing for now.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't
All right.
expect that to last though. I actually think there's something there. They're gonna give us something.
Okay. We'll see. Sometimes boring is good. You just focus on each other and stay out the drama. So Belle Jolie and Mecca, her maid of honor, Amani, just has a stank face on. And she's just telling her, like, I'm looking at him being Mecca, and is like, did you mean it? I will punch you in the throat. I'll
It's
punch your Adam's apple to the back of your throat. I'm like, did we miss something? What?
it's it's just weird, weirdly hostile. And then
Yeah.
we have no context. If we were given the benefit of the doubt, we're like, did we miss something? But I do think some people ride for their best friends like that.
I usually don't like it. Everyone on Love is Blind, and they do, and they're so over the top, and I'm so protective of her. I don't want anything to happen. Then just be supportive. And then if something happens, you be there to pick up the pieces. I don't understand all this vim for somebody that you don't even know. But
No, you haven't met.
but again, how long into this wedding is it? They're still talking to other people. Now she's talking to her best friend, and it's still not Mecca. But what do I know? She says she's just kidding. This is her best friend, but she's telling Belle Jolie to move with discernment, and Belle Jolie says like he is really cute, and no, her best friend says that he is really cute, and she thought they were gonna kiss, and she's like, nope, we weren't. I'm gonna stand on business that they're just gonna go to bed, cuddle, and sleep. Then his dad is talking to Mecca. I feel like anytime I see Logic with Mecca, I just want to separate them because I don't know what more damage this man is doing. So Mecca is holding a baby. She's just holding a baby. Who could be her niece or little baby cousin? I don't know. And he's like, "Oh, she got baby fever too." How does holding a baby translate to baby fever? Logic.
Logic
What's the
just loves the
logic
sound
in
of
that?
Logic's voice. Logic loves the sound of Logic's voice.
He does. Mecca is like, oh, I'm not ready for that. I don't want a baby. I'm like, guys, we're getting ahead of ourselves. It's just hour 3. So Logic says he didn't know that this was going to be so much fun, that he was going to like her and her family this much. And it seems like they're into it. Brace yourself, guys. his dad turns to Mecca and is like, "So you're gonna try to clap them cheeks tonight?"
Oh my god.
Ew. Mecca says, "No, you saw how that went with the kiss." And the dad says, "Well, she looked flustered when she came out, and you know you had an erection up there." Now we're going too far. This is gross. What are we doing? And why is he drunk? I think I was thinking, like, was he intoxicated? Not an excuse. But I also hate that Mecca didn't set him straight. Like, this gives insight into the dynamics of their relationships, and I'm nervous.
I just hope we don't see him again. This is, I'm hoping this is all wedding episode stuff. Logic, another one who just loves to be the center of attention and say things that he hopes will not make the living room floor, cutting room floor, sorry. And this is, I'm hoping that's all that is, but this is a man who loves to be the center of attention. I don't think he's saying these things so he can give his son the best advice for a great marriage. He's saying these things so that he can get on TV and be entertaining.
Is his dad married? Because if they
I think
liked him
so.
so, oh, okay. Because I was like, if they liked him so much, just match him. Why didn't they just put him on the show? Just might as well.
Oh, and yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So after the wedding, they're riding in the car, going to the hotel. She tells him about how family is very important. She shares about her dad meeting him at 20. As she didn't go into detail with the DNA stuff, but she said seeing her mom be a single mom raising kids, that she just has so much admiration for her. He also shares about living without his mom and also the other family members that he's estranged from, and he just says like he doesn't want to be separated. He's always said like when he got married he's not going to be separated. He just doesn't want to have, kids, raised in that environment. So basically they're aligned in that.
Yeah,
So,
he says I was not raised with my biological mom, and that's what made me think that Logic was married and that he had a stepmom because he made a distinction. But that was actually me just theorizing about whether or not Logic was married.
oh, okay. Yes, he did mention when he told that story earlier, I guess, when he's not talking to his stepbrother, S- plural, I believe. But we don't know if they stayed together or if they separated. I don't know. So, they get to the hotel, and Mecca asks her like what she's concerned about or fearful of, and she was like, she doesn't have any, and that's shocking. And she's like, "How about you? Do you have anything?" And he's like, "What if he says something that she thinks is very weird?" At this point, I was really hoping they would just go to bed because I kind of feel like they shouldn't have this conversation with alcohol in the system. Because I kind of feel like Mecca also had alcohol in the system. I'm not sure, or if this is just him. I don't know him well enough to know. So he was like, she's like, "Give me an example. Give me an example." And he's like, "Well, I brush my teeth in the shower and some people think it's weird." And she's like, "That's not weird. I do that. It is weird." So they keep talking, and he's like, "But something will happen, like somewhere down the line." And I'm like, "Mecca, just relax. Like you found someone who, at this point, is willing to accept, all the quirkiness and all the things, just in be in the moment." But you know, that's going to be a struggle. So Belshali says it's romantic in here in the hotel room, and it's hard to not dive into the moment, but it is important to build a friendship. So, do you think she's going to cave?
I think she's attracted to him, so yeah, maybe.
We'll see. That would be such a wild story where she's like, "I'm not going to kiss you at the altar, but I'll have sex with you on the first night." That would be something. Okay, moving on to Nick and Courtney. She wants to know why he wants to go on so many reality shows. Like, is this endgame? She's asking his friends. They say like no, his end game is to be in a long-term relationship, that the more you get to know him, you see who he really is. And she's like, I mean, he's gorgeous, so there's that. And the fact that you guys are vouching for him, that's a good thing. She asks her parents what they think of Nick, and they say that he's good. She says she's so happy, and she finds it so attractive that he was able to win everyone over on her side. And then she says this could be the start of something great or not. So I don't know. Maybe she's being realistic because it's true, 50-50. So they get to the hotel. She says expectations were met. And he said he had anxiety about what if he wasn't into her. He didn't say what if she wasn't into him. He said if I wasn't into you. She takes off her makeup. She takes her hair down. and she's already worrying about him getting bored, them being stagnant. And the producer says, "You've only known him for 3 hours and you're worried about that?" And she says, "Yes, I am." He says
She's
that
a stressful person to look at.
nervous
To
Nelly.
watch. To watch
Yes,
is not look at, but like her energy is very nervous Nelly.
yes. She's an anxious person, I think. She's just very nervous about everything.
I think some
So,
people hide their anxiety better than her though. It's not just that
yes,
she's anxious, she's visibly anxious.
yes. Her energy is very, like, if you weren't like worried about something, you would instantly be worried about
Like,
it.
what am I missing? What does she know that
Yes.
I don't know?
Yes. So he says that he likes that she took off her makeup, but if she goes tanning every day, they're probably gonna have a conversation about that. He asks her about him sleeping in the bed, and she's like, she doesn't say, "Oh, yeah, you can." She's like, "If you want to. Like, I'm not going to make you do what you don't want to, but if you do, then you want." And I'm like, "Oh my God, Courtney, just say yes." And she's like, "But if you choose that you want to be in the bed, I'm comfortable with that." And he's like, "Oh, okay." I don't know if this is me. I do feel that after she took off her makeup, I do think Nick changed.
How do you think he changed?
I just feel like I've seen Nick again. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm just reading. I just seen he just seemed less like he was putting on a like he became more rigid. Like he was kind of loose. Yes, he was anxious and he was kind of is, but now it felt like he was picking his words. See, the thing on the circle, right, is that it's like a social media thing, and you don't get to speak to anyone. You get to say words out loud, and you have to pick what you say and think about what you're gonna say. And I felt like I got that from him, where he was thinking very carefully of what he was going to say. And then when they got into bed, it wasn't like organic. And I don't know if it's because of her, because she's also nervous, but that was the vibe that I got. And I don't know if it's just me.
I think it's interesting that you attribute it to the makeup.
No, I just, the timing. That
Okay.
was just when I noticed. I don't attribute it to the makeup. I just feel like after that and all that, and he was just saying, like, I think I like that she took off her makeup. I don't know if he said that she thinks that she's comfortable, but she wasn't going to go to bed with the makeup. So he just felt like he was saying something like he thought like that's what they wanted to hear. But I don't know if they asked him a question, but it's just the timing. I don't mean that it's because of the makeup.
Okay.
Yeah. So they do kiss goodnight, and that was it for them. I do feel like their whole goodnight, everything, it was kind of awkward too, but we'll see how it develops next time.
I truly
Okay.
believe she could have been matched with anyone, and just her energy would have killed anything.
But out of the guys that we have here, is he the best person she could have been matched with?
For her?
Yeah.
Well, I think in my mind, I'm like, but I wouldn't want to take any of the other guys away from who they're currently with.
I might
Like, I
try
think
her with
everybody's
Adam.
good.
I would switch. I would give her to Adam, since he thinks he trains pro athletes and she's a bodybuilder and all of that stuff, except he doesn't drink, but they like to ignore things, and give Marissa to Nick. Yeah, I
Okay.
think I would do that. All right, Tori and Felipe, they cut their cake, and when they cut the cake, Tori just randomly is like, "She thick," and I don't know why that just scored points for me with her. And Felipe took a while, and he's like, "Oh, you said that," and then he starts laughing, and I'm like, "These people are having a great time." Felipe says, in Brazilian culture, when you cut the cake, you give it to the most important person in your life. He says, "Mom, I love you," and then he gives it to Tori. That got me, guys. I'm not gonna lie
That
to
was a
you.
good move. It was a
That
really
got me.
good
That was
move.
cute. That was cute. I thought it couldn't be topped, but then he's like, "You get the second one, mom." And Tori was like, "No," and then gives it to his mom. And I'm like, "Good move, Tori." I don't think she was being calculated, but I'm just like, "Good move." That was really, really good. And she hugs her, and she was like, "That was so nice." And you can tell that Felipe was just like, "Oh, that was great." They get to the hotel. She's like, "He's hot. Like, he's really hot." That it takes a while for her to put her walls down, but his heart is big and it's going to be easy for her to do so. Felipe says, like, he feels so vulnerable, that she's so excellent, that he's going to try so hard for this to work. Like, he wants to give this 100% so this works. She's the only one who wears a sexy, it's not even pajamas, but sexy thing to bed, because everyone is like, old shorts and shirt. Courtney was like in full pants, pajamas, and he gives her a look when he sees her in her nightwear, I guess. And they get into bed and then they kiss. He says, "Good night, baby." I'm like, "Well, we're already on baby." And that was it. So it made me happy.
So, yes, I think part of me was like, "Ugh, none of these people are going to work out because this show is such trash." And then there are people who I'm like, wait, am I allowed to have hope? And Tori and Felipe are one of those.
Yeah. We gotta have hope, Aid. You can't watch this show with no hope. Cameron and Michelle. Cameron says in the car, the biggest challenge is like, oh man, been alone for a while now. Like, how long was your last relationship? She's like, I was in a 3 year relationship 3 years ago, and they almost got engaged. I'm like, did you get a promise ring or what is almost got engaged? I don't know.
They went shopping for rings, you know?
Yeah, okay. And he's like, yeah, we've been alone for a while, and then now there's just gonna be someone in my space all the time. Have to get used to having someone around. I'm like, Cameron, you signed up to be married, right? You know that, right? So I don't know. Um, she says that they'll figure it out and they'll see how it goes. But like I said, they give nothing. There's nothing really happening here. So that's it. So Marissa and Adam were the final couple of the night. He's friends. She's talking to his friends. Like, is there anything I need to know? They're like, oh, he's chill. He is soft. Like, he's obsessed with jet skis. Then we get a montage of him just telling everyone about jet skis, telling her mom and his dog. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like,
It's
I've
the
never
jet
met anyone.
skis, it's the piano. It's it just begs the question, like, what makes a person interesting? And like, these two things could make him interesting, but somehow they just make him annoying. How did that happen?
Because it's Adam. And also, don't forget, when they said like it's the discipline that his family instilled in him, the values is piano. That's why. Piano is a value to him. So so he asked her first impression of him. This is now at the hotel. And he says like her first impression was like he was tall and he had good shoulders. He's like, huh, the shoulders. That's what got you. So she asked, what did your friends think? Like, did they like me? And I think he was like, yeah. Like he wasn't like enthusiastic, you know?
Have you
So
seen him be like truly enthusiastic about anything though?
no,
That is
Tin
his
Man.
baseline.
Yeah, that's true. So she says she has no expectations that she's going to be sleeping on the couch, but she was joking about that because then he closes the blinds and he says he's not nervous to be naked in front of his wife. He works out. He is trained for this. He's willing to show off his body. So when he closes the blind, he's like, this is more my style. And she says, go big or go home. And I think I heard kisses. So if I had to bet, if I was a bet lady, I would say Marissa and Adam are the first to have sex.
Was that a surprise to you, or did you expect that to come based on their previous behavior?
Um, I wouldn't say it's more like okay, like if you tell me Jolie and Mecca had sex, I'll be like, oh, I'm surprised. But if you say Marissa and Adam did, I'm not expecting them to, but I'll be like, okay, that's okay. I can see that happening. She seems in awe of him, which is actually a concern for me, for
Because
her.
I think we look at him and we're like, why are you in awe of that?
Yes. I don't want her to have her whole relationship being that she wants to earn and feel like she's worthy of being his wife. So that's my whole thing. Like, she's gorgeous. She's great. I don't know nothing about her. I assume she's great. And he should meet her where she's at also, not just her trying to keep up? So, yeah, that's the episode, guys. But before we go, let's do the bouquet and ashes. Who has your bouquet?
I hate to do this 2 episodes in a row. I'm sorry. I was so eager to save my burnt ashes that I never actually got to a bouquet.
Okay, I can go first.
Go for I'm like, who's your bouquet? I don't know. Who's your
Oh,
bouquet?
my bouquet goes to Devin and Caitlin because it was just a good start to finish when they said all the things that, they aligned together. I know I had my whole thing about the whole Sydney Sweeney thing, but I do take accountability that that's just me. Like, it's nothing on him. That's just me. And it's illogical. But it was good. They seemed to align. They seemed to get together. It seemed at ease and their families seemed to mesh. We're just going to act like her dad was in there. but it was cute.
Well, on that note, I can give mine. I didn't even wait for you to ask. But I can give mine to the experts for matching those two because they did seem to do a good job there. Looks, personality, interests, like they all seem to align pretty well. So I'm going to give them credit for that.
Okay, that's fair. Um, if I had a runner up, I would give it to the whole cake scenario. Felipe giving his cake to Tori and Tori giving the cake to his mom. That was really
Aw.
cute, and that got me. But I think I got my bouquet the last time, so I wanted to spread the love before everyone pisses me off and I have no one to give it to. Okay, who has your ashes?
Michelle's dad. That's what I meant. Sorry, I was so excited to say my ashes. I was like, oh, I'm doing it again. Fathers, I swear to God, your useless speeches, not walking your daughter down the aisle, making it all about you on your daughter's wedding day. Boo. Who has yours?
I mean, there was no one else. It has to be. I mean, mine was logic. Yes, I agree with the fathers, but honestly, it was the illogical logic. Like that was just because his was really inappropriate. Like I
Yeah.
just find it so offensive. I just find it ridiculous talking about Beljolie that way, like talking about your son that way, and just everything all together. It was just ill, ill, ill. Stop it. You know.
I think it's funny that like we still keep in mind like, but don't you not want people to see you poorly? Whereas I think these people don't care. So it's like we're operating with the idea that like someone's gonna see this someday. Aren't you concerned about that?
Well,
They're
if
not
he,
from that level.
I don't think he thinks he's doing anything wrong. Yeah, and even worse is Mecca doesn't know that it's anything wrong because it's what he knows. So unfortunate, but that is the episode. And A, thank you so much for joining me for episode 2 and 3.
You're welcome.
Always a pleasure to have you. Guys, you know where to find me. Tain Talks on whatever social media is yours of choice. Please give me a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and stay subscribed so you do not miss out on any episodes. And don't forget for bonus episodes, check out patreon.com/Tain Talks. Until next time, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Most people don't realize how much their personal information is being bought and sold every day. Data brokers are making billions, pulling details about you from public records and the internet, and then packaging and selling it, usually without your consent. That's how your information lands in the hands of scammers, spammers, even stalkers. It's why you get endless robocalls and why ads seem to follow you everywhere. That's where Aura comes in. Aura actively removes your data from broker sites and keeps it off. They also instantly alert you if your information shows up in a breach or on the dark web. But Aura goes beyond data protection. With one app, you get a VPN, antivirus, password manager, spam call protection, dark web monitoring, and even up to $5 million in identity theft insurance. All backed by 24/7 US-based fraud support. Other companies might sell just credit monitoring or just a VPN. Aura gives you all of it, together, at the same price competitors charge for just one service. Start your free trial today at aura.com/remove. Protect yourself now at aura.com/remove.